Ah. Hey, hi, hello. Let's see if everything is going to be working. I can see that the CatCam is not working. Let me adjust it. Ah, there it is. Everything's set up. The chat is visible. Game is visible. Ah, it's outputting some kind of weird hisses and noises. We can see a wee little cat corner of the screen. Wee little chat screen on the other corner, but it's not present. There's nothing there yet, so we don't care about those. We can go back to control. Last time we played, we got levitation power, finally. And right now we are basically going back to Emily. Our brother.
The resonance emitted from the HRAs is purely antithetical to every variant of the His signal I can arrange. But how did Darling create it?
It's happening. After all these years, Dylan is here. But am I too late? How is he? I need to know.
He's clearly been affected by the Hiss, but it's different than any other manifestation we've recorded. Maybe what makes you so special is genetic. He was a prime candidate. Or maybe it's Polaris protecting him, something else affecting the situation. I need to run tests. He seems more in control, more present.
I want to see him. My brother. Or is he?
Of course. Now, Marshall set up an HRA-warded cage to contain him. It's on the upper floor, up the stairs.
Okay, I need to go.
Jesse, be careful.
Get some collectibles, records. Yeah, I can see that you've managed to circumvent that. Yeah, as I said, like the issue with the the issue with the program that I am using right now is basically that the first comment from Facebook is not visible. Yay, yatta.
Jesse, when you were down in research, did you run into a Dr. Rhea Underhill?
I didn't. Who is she?
She is a colleague of mine, a researcher studying a kind of extra-dimensional mold growing below research.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
No one does. Look, I haven't heard from Rhea since the Hiss arrived. Would you mind having a look around for her next time you're in research?
Of course.
Thanks, Jesse. Now, what's on your mind?
Oh, we have some new things to talk about.
I visited the quarry. What's the plan for all that black rock?
The Bureau has used BlackRock almost exclusively for containment purposes. See, I say, branch out. Instead of boxes, helmets. Instead of blast shields, knives.
Knives?
Yes, knives! So many combat applications. Slicing, stabbing, gouging. Sorry. I've been trying to get Darling to explore combat applications for years. I got a little excited.
Wow. I did not expect that from her.
Yeah, I can see your limit testing my comment applications. It's already been done. At a very lovely
This place is looking
a
good.
young
Maurice
man
is making
trying
real progress
to
around here.
comment on all of the platforms.
Right? This place is a fortress. With him taking care of operations here, I can spend more time analyzing the hiss. I've been attempting to isolate and neutralize the hiss resonance in blood samples, but no luck so far.
So you can't reverse it.
Not yet, but perhaps reversing it is too simple. See, if hiss resonance can rewrite human genetics, then perhaps it's a question of rewriting the hiss resonance. In theory, that could pave the way for custom human genetic alteration.
I wonder how often the phrase mad scientist is used around here.
It is working, save for the first comment from Facebook. It also needs to I also need to put the manual labor in, because the integration is not really working that well.
How is HRA production coming along?
Like,
Better than expected.
Twitch and
We've already
YouTube
made
are
enough to
seamless,
get people
but for
out of a couple
Facebook,
safe
I
rooms.
need to input the
They're
video
here,
ID every time I
alive,
run the
thanks to you.
application.
And we never would have lasted this long if you hadn't walked in those doors.
You deserve thanks too, of course. We got this place up and running together, Emily.
Yay.
I should be going. Enjoy your data.
Oh, I will.
It's not a problem as long as it's working. Yeah, I guess. I mean, there are also some hiccups happening, like when I get the application running. Sometimes, not all of them, the YouTube integration is not working. Like, I can try to yeah, the CatCam is basically problematic everywhere. The issue is that sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it does. I can retry the application. I don't know, try the connection, and sometimes then it will start working again, and sometimes it won't again. Let's see our missions. Okay, we have 3 side missions. Let's go through with the. Yeah, we will be going with the Dylan one, with the main one. After all, we're interested in the plot. Yeah, also, I wanted to try something, but right now, cat is sitting on my lap, so I will not do it. And I wanted to like run the stream on the other PC that I'm having, so that I will see the chat on the stream, and then I can switch the output that I'm seeing like from the preview window of OBS to the main like input of the monitor, so that I could basically bask in all of the glory of the graphics the game has to offer. Because I still don't have my second display, but it's coming. I finally got information from my manager yesterday that the parts are being procured.
They're already getting other survivors out of safe rooms.
Great. Maybe I can get back to my office soon.
Oh, there are so many collectibles that I missed. It's unbelievable. We'll need to read them all in a while after we speak with Dylan. And I guess inevitably something bad happens.
Marshall abandons us. I'm sick of no one telling us what's going on.
Did you see that hiss they marched through here? Why the fuck didn't we put a bullet in that thing's head?
I heard it's the director's brother. Would you shoot your brother?
That's no one's brother anymore. He's the enemy, plain and simple.
Dude, please don't talk about my brother like that when I'm next to you. Maybe I'll steal a plane and go insane. I have full mods. Let's see what can we destroy. Deconstruct rather. Okay.
Marshall orders us to just sit on our asses and then leaves? What's the deal?
She must have her reasons. She's probably out doing some recon.
Then she should have taken us with her.
What is it that you like the best in this game? The story is engaging, basically. I am not really a person for, I don't know, flashy graphics or action, hack the gameplay or anything like that. I am basically just, you know, a sucker for a good story. And
What do you know about
I mean,
this Arish guy?
I heard
the-
some
the-
rangers say you saved them in Maiden.
let's say gameplay loops and mechanics should also be, you know, interesting for me to, you know, to partake. I strongly dislike when the HUD is not fun. Did you play Half-Life 2? Yes, I did. I did.
Through time, the thunder's home distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror inverted is made right. Leave your insides by the door. Push the fingers through the surface into the way. You've always been in there. You want this to be true. We stand around you while you dream. You can almost hear our words, but you forget. Through time, the thunder's home distorts
Why we didn't have subtitles for it?
white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror.
But he's just basically repeating himself all the time. Yes, I played Half-Life 2 a couple of years ago already. It would be nice to play Alex, but I would need to borrow a VR setup from someone.
You are a worm through time.
Shit.
The thunder's home distorts you.
That's Dylan.
White pearls,
Can
but
you hear
yellow and
me?
red in the eye.
Oh, come on, Dylan. I'm here.
By the door.
I found you.
The surface into the way. You've always been in there. You want this to be true.
Do you know who I am? Oh, you know me. Say it.
You are Dylan Faden's sister.
He's talking in the third person. Always a good sign. Do you know who you are?
Not Dylan. Trench and Darling made sure of that. I'm P6. P6. But I'm better now. The hiss made me better.
Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been the new you. You want this
Can you
to
stop
be
that?
true.
Please. Not exactly the reunion I'd hoped for.
It feels good to say those words. I
Come
want
on,
to
Kat.
say them.
What was that?
They sound good. They make me feel good. Don't you want to say them too?
No. Fuck off, no. You need to help me get this thing out of his head. If he is still in there, if there is anything left, you have to help me.
You! You came in through the hole in you. We like you, and you've always been here. The only true, a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Stop it!
Orange peel.
Shit! Shit! He can see you. This is not safe.
We found Polaris together with my sister when we were very small, in Ordinary, in the desert, through the door opened up by the slide projector. But she didn't help when Trench took me away. She didn't give me any powers. All the powers are my
exposition.
own powers. She didn't help when they locked me up for years.
After the song time for applause, we build you till nothing remains. The egg cracks and the truth will emerge out of you. You are home.
The Bureau brought the slide projector back here with me. And the Bureau did what the Bureau does. They used it. And they found... They opened the door up to the hiss. That's the only thing I can thank them for.
There. There it is. We stopped the Altered World event in Ordinary when we shut down the slide projector. And now the projector's here.
An earworm is a tune you can't stop humming in a dream. Baby, 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 yeah. Just plastic. So safe. Nothing to worry about. Funny.
I welcomed the hiss. I let it in. To get rid of her. The hiss set me free. Polaris is using you. The Bureau is using you. You are a puppet.
You can almost hear our words, but you forget.
If we shut off the slide projector, maybe that will stop the hiss.
Your regulations.
Maybe it's not too late for my brother.
You must see the truth for yourself, Jessie. Sister. The horrible truth about the Bureau. The hiss is the better option. Go to the Prime Candidate program in the containment sector. I have the keycard to get you there. Salvador wanted me to have it.
Wanted? Bullshit. I saw what the hiss did to Salvador. What it turned him into.
Okay, Dylan. I'll go. I want to see the truth for myself.
I'll go. But only to look for the slide projector. You can help me. We can end this.
You are a worm through time.
I wonder how much of the being used is for each of them.
Find here.
Dylan. Can we talk?
I'd like to tell you about a dream I had last night.
Off to a good start.
Okay. I'm listening.
I was back in Ordinary, before all of this happened. But in the dream, I was alone. It was just me. I was the only child. A girl. My name was Jesse Dylan Faden. But then the Bureau came and caught me, brought me back here, locked me up. Have you ever noticed that our names, Jesse, Dylan, they could be girls' names, boys' names, could be anything. Don't you find that weird? I find that weird.
Sure.
What the hell was that? Is he trying to mess with me?
You are a worm through time. The thunderstorm distorts you. Happiness comes.
I mean, that would be definitely
Maybe
interesting
Dylan's
if
still
they
in
were
there.
created
there's a
by
way to
the
reach
slide projector.
I'd like to talk to my brother, please. Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
This again?
I was going to be the new director of this place. I
I
helped
know
you get a
that.
job here so that we could be together. You were an office assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way forever and ever.
And ever.
It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the
What's nice
strange
about
thing.
going and working
dream
for the Federal
shifted.
Bureau of Control?
And none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game. And it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop playing. And then it shifted again.
I mean,
Or maybe it was
Remedy is
another
basically
dream
self-aware
already.
at this point.
Or maybe I'm just confusing them. But in this other dream, it was more like a musical. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town. It's the ordinary story. She worked an ordinary job in an ordinary office. And something.
That's creepy.
And that's all I can remember of that dream.
Maybe that's for the best.
Basically, yeah, since
Through time.
they are from the ordinary towns,
Comes white pearls, but
so
Maybe I can learn more about the hiss from him.
Can we
I
talk?
don't know. Leading.
I just had an interesting dream.
Shit.
That's fascinating, but let's talk about the hiss for a change, yeah?
This dream was about the hiss.
Best I'm gonna
Wow.
get.
In my dream, the hiss had broken free of this prison, this house. I'd set it free. And the president himself was there to welcome us. He was the first one to take the hiss in. Spread the word. At first, many people thought it was horrifying. That he was horrifying. But also, many people who heard his words wanted to welcome the hiss in. And slowly, more and more of them came around until the whole world was brought together by the hiss. It was wonderful.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that.
For the record, that will never happen. Not as long as I'm alive.
the thunderstorm distorts you.
Well,
Happiness.
Maybe I'm
Well,
just here
depends
to
on-
punish myself.
what's this game
Any
actually
new dreams
about?
you'd like to share, Dylan?
I'm glad you asked, sister. This dream, like all dreams now, felt very real. Like reality. And reality now feels like a dream. Maybe it's all a dream. Maybe it's all real.
Dream where my brother endlessly tells me about his dreams.
I was in a dark place,
Mwah.
and there was a dark man there. His name was Mr. Door, and he told me that there are many worlds, side by side, on top of each other, some inside of others. In one world, there was a writer who wrote a story about a cop. In another world, the cop was real. Door said he himself was in all of them at the same time, endlessly shifting between them. I asked him how I could reach these worlds. I wanted to bring the hiss there. But he didn't want to help me. He didn't
Oh no,
like the
bad
idea.
Mr. Door.
What did he know?
I'm not wild about the idea myself.
Through time, the thunderstorm distorts you. Happiness.
We are talking
Here we go
until the
again.
marker
Once
goes
more
away.
with feeling.
Let me guess. You want to tell me about your dream?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I'm having a dream right now.
Oh. That's new.
In this dream, I'm standing in the corner watching Jesse and Dylan talk about this very dream. This very dream! He said just now! And repeated it again now! I'm standing there and watching, and that's all I can do. It's as if I'm trapped there.
Oh no, I am trapped. We're all
And
trapped.
that's all I have to say about that dream.
Okay, Dylan.
And
That's
now
good.
the dream ended.
Is he still in there?
Through time,
Or is this the hiss playing mind games?
happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow.
I don't know.
Through a mirror, the inverted is made right.
Okay, so that was the last one. Basically, like,
The surface into the wet. You've always been here. You
I would say that he shed some light on things, but that he made basically everything more convoluted. Like, is this a real life?
We've lost employees before, but
Is this just
too much. We
fantasy?
need to do better.
Okay. Containment. Prime candidate program.
This is Lynn Salvador, head of Bureau Security. I'm making a formal security order due to the incident in April, case number 21HQ593. Improper use of the jukebox altered item led to 2 fatalities. We believe a pair of agents used the jukebox to travel to the quarry threshold and engage in inappropriate workplace behavior. An expedition team found them decomposing at the formation's base a week later. At least we found out the jukebox doesn't bring corpses back when the song ends. I'm having the jukebox placed in a secure location in the executive sector. It should never have been accessible to low clearance staff in the first place. The new location's security and proximity to a high traffic area will prevent misuse while still allowing for expedition teams to access it when required. See me for any further details.
Interesting altered item. Sure. Yeah, coming back to the one of the best games ever, and I'm basically very fond of, for example, Metal Gear series. It's my all-time favorite. I spent over 120 or 30 hours on the Metal Gear Solid 5 when it came out on PC. I've also played all of the other installments of Metal Gear Solid, besides the 4th. Okay, so we have the hiss. Because yeah, the fourth game was for PS3, which I didn't have. The emulators were not good enough to handle it. Yeah, but I still watched it on a Let's Play. Okay, is this all of them? I hope this is all. Yeah, I quite like Braid and Undertale as the, I guess, the best indies in my opinion. Medieval is my favorite game from a PS1 era. If I didn't finish the remaster already, I would for sure stream it in here. What else? Honestly, I can't remember right now. I would need to come back to you on my favorite games, but these are for sure the ones that I adore the most. I guess we need to go through security to turn right to the prime candidate program. At least this is what I'm assuming. Yeah. The arrows are pointing us in the right direction. I already watched this on our last stream.
We discovered the oldest house while investigating a
Yeah, but this isn't the way to go.
in the New York City subway tunnels.
So must be through this door. Yes. And we have the card with level 6. Which is still giving me Metal Gear Solid vibes. There were the keycards. Dude, how is this he's here? Just by the way, dude, there's a hiss. Go and kill it. Prime candidate program.
Find new prime candidates. The Bureau needs a director. Our future. P6 and P7.
Yeah, so that's basically interesting. Because yeah, we know that Dylan is P6. But then, since Trench is talking about P7, it immediately piques my interest. Who else was like primed to be a director? Come on, Professor X. No match for me. A copy of Salvador is also nothing. Where's the healing wall? You're healing. He's too much for my tastes. And now you're going to be easy. bye bye. Sounded like there was a rocket. I don't like rockets. No one's here. Hmm. That's an interesting warp. It's a part of the map. Come on, come on, come on. Give me base files. The mod. Unfortunately, we can't upgrade without a control point, which can't come soon enough, basically. After this fight, I'd assume that it's somewhere in the vicinity. Oh yeah, and still amazing that, yeah, and I hope that they explain this, that as soon as basically Jesse started calling this thing the his, everyone's just basically using the name. Like, why is Dylan knowledgeable about her usage of the word? Just, you know, uses it freely. Doesn't add up. I mean, no. Basically, she is creating the reality of the oldest house as a director, let's say, but then, you know, it's not like... Oh my goodness, the puppet show.
I can see you're upset, Meg. Why don't you tell Uncle Mr. Bones what's wrong?
I did bad on my clairvoyance test.
You can't ace every test, Meg. You see, everyone has different brains. Some brains can talk to each other. We call this ESP.
ESP?
Oh, jeez.
Some brains can lift objects like a baseball. Talk about a fly ball, eh, Meg?
No interruptions!
Uncle
So
Mr.
who
Bones is
cares if you
shitty.
fail your clairvoyance test? Maybe your brain can throw baseballs, or talk to dead people, or make friends blind. Once we know what your brains can do, we'll know what job to give you. And if your brains are just right, you'll get to sit in the big chair.
So if you can do everything, you're the director.
What if I don't want the big chair?
What
That's a
if
good
I
question.
don't want the big chair?
Everyone wants the big chair, right?
That's why we're all here. Use those brains to listen for once, or the only chair you're getting is the one with straps.
Oh no. Must want to be the director at some point. And when the game is dropping you from a T-pose.
I wish things had gone differently in Ordinary for us. But wishing won't change things. Finding the projector will.
Ordinary. There's so much coming together in this one case. A new object of power, something we have not seen before. I mean, coming from me, that's saying something. And the boy, Dylan Faden, prime candidate 6. And the sister as well. Once we catch up with her, but the boy, so much potential. We're talking Northmore level readings here. And I don't want to invoke his name, but it's completely different circumstances here.
Oh my goodness, Cat, are you going to go away and let me just sit in peace? No, you are not.
There was an incident. Yes. We lost a valuable member of our team, yes. Excessive force. Dylan has so much. But he's just a kid. Like, I'll take the blame. He needs some slack. I mean, boys will be boys. He's exceptional and under a lot of stress. Roberts got killed.
The government's
It's an
doing
unfortunate
boo-boo.
accident, that's all. Marshall needs to realize this. We will make this work. We'll make this work.
But served right. Plot is still interesting. I hope it doesn't disappoint in the long run.
Is this what Dylan wanted me to see? It doesn't matter. We need to find that projector.
We used to play there all the time. Me and Dylan, and other kids as well. We loved it. This time, I remember, was different. We found a way in, deeper into it, like it had shifted. We went inside, and that's where we found the slide projector.
A dump is a place for lost things. Things that have been thrown away. Did you ever feel that way when you were growing up, Jesse?
What? No. Yes, but that has nothing to do with...
Was there a slide projector at your home when you were small?
No.
Those were before your time, I suppose. But your family did look at photos together, maybe. In one form or the other?
Maybe.
When was this? Can you remember? At parties? Barbecues? How did it make you feel? Did your parents ever show pictures that embarrassed you? Was alcohol ever involved at these parties? Did your parents drink? Did that make you uncomfortable?
No, that's just stupid. Come on. That has nothing to do with this. Nothing.
This light projector, let me ask you this. As a child, did you ever fantasize about worlds inside pictures? Inside a painting? You know, stepping into a painting, into a hidden world, escaping and finding adventure there, away from your parents.
I don't think so. I don't remember. Maybe. I don't know.
I wanted to ask, why is Jessie sounding so adult in this? And now I have more questions. Was she the P7? Well, we need to read the collectibles then. Linguistic ability. Analysis of the His threat Part 2, confidential. Researchers were sent to transcribe the recursive chant repeated by the His entities. In the interest of safety, this was done with the non-aggressive floating His entities. However, no distinction between this repeating phrase and the one repeated by the more violent His entities has been observed. What is the purpose of this repeating string of words? Is this how the His corrupts individuals? Does the chant produce a physical effect? Is it a message? An incantation? We were able to record a first-hand recitation of the chanting, see the corresponding audio record. To file for full report. Speech analysis. Analysis of the His threat Part 3. We understand the His to be forced based on vibration and resonance, then perhaps their incantation, which is now the agreed upon term for their vocalizations, is an effort to express that resonance using human vocal cords and speech. Would there be differences if the incantation were recited in a different language? The most common word used is want. Interestingly, every usage of the word is attributed to a you. You want to listen. You want this to be true. You must want these waves to drag you away. And we, the you, the His are referring to? Does the His believe humanity, possibly all non-His life, wants to join it, to be consumed by it? Is that its goal? The second most used words are true and time. Is this the possibly His stating how they arrived here, or an indication of its age? There's no clear intention in the words. Dismissing the incantation as nonsense, as some of my colleagues recommended, is beyond idiotic. Dylan Faden transcript. Transcript of conversation. Subject Dylan Faden for review by Dr. Darling. Note: subject was alone during this outburst. You again. I thought I told you to leave me alone. Why are you showing me this? I can't do anything. Can't you see where I am? Why don't you help me get out of here? You always show me things I can't do anything about. Stop showing me her. I don't care anymore, and I don't care about you. You both left me here to rot. Off you. I will dig you out my own brains if it means getting rid of you. I don't want you here. Get the message. Subject repeated the phrase F off numerous times before being sedated at 1753. Employee incident. Incident in question occurred on redacted and was brought to HR department's attention by the internal security personnel who intervened. According to reports supported by security camera footage, Agent Filson entered the staff kitchen with the intention of consuming his private meal, a homemade sandwich cut diagonally and packed in a plastic container, but discovered the refrigerator had redacted his meal. Agent Filson began to kick the bureau-owned appliance as he expressed his frustration in a loud and profane manner. This behavior caused multiple staff members present to become alarmed. Security was alerted soon after. Filson complied with security's command to desist. Recommendation: Agent Filson was reprimanded and suspended for the remainder of the ongoing work week. The review committee recommends one non-mandatory counseling session. And what did the refrigerator do? Jessie Faden P7. Yeah, so she is. Departs Cheyenne, Wyoming, arrives in Sydney Nebraska. Departs Sydney, Nebraska. Arrives in Des Moines. I don't know what is EA. Arrives in Chicago, Illinois. Departs Chicago, Illinois. Arrives in South Bend, IN. I also don't know what is this. Departs. Arrives Cleveland, Ohio, I think. Departs Cleveland. Arrives in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Maybe. Departs and arrives in New York City, where we are. P6 Victim Autopsy. Case 45 HQ121. Agent killed during redacted involving redacted codename P6. So involving Dylan Faden. Why is the... Oh, it was P6 Victim Autopsy, not Dylan Faden. 1. Blunt force injuries of the head and neck. 2. Extensive trauma to the abdominal region. A. Lacerations and contusions of the upper and lower torso. B. Fracture of the spinal cord between the L1 and L2 vertebrae. C. Avulsion fracture of the 3rd through 10th ribs, left and right. 3. Blunt force injuries of the extremities. A. Abrasions, lacerations, and contusions of the extremities. Be right back. Discoloration of left and right elbow. Discoloration of left and right knee. Conclusion. After examination, it was determined that the cause of death was internal bleeding that occurred when the agent, redacted, was contorted through his redacted. Pope's promotion. Review. Dr. Darling has personally recommended Mrs. Pope for a promotion based on her work ethic and assistance in advancing many ongoing research matters. See research reports for breakthroughs resulting from her work. Recommendation. According to her colleagues, Pope has displayed a keen eye for detail and a quick grasp of paranatural concepts. She is professional and diligent, though some of her co-workers complain of social disinterest. The review committee approves the recommendation and promotes Ms. Pope to the position of research specialist. Good for her. Quarry incident. During my weekly safety inspection to the quarry threshold, I discovered the entire crew in a state of redacted. The whole team was redacted, aligned and staring in a uniform direction, the city in the distance. Despite my most vocal efforts to gain their attention, they remained redacted for more than redacted minutes until I had to resort to literally redacted. Afterwards, they were dazed and could not provide any rationale for their behavior or any specific memories of engaging in it. My official recommendation for any crew working in a threshold area is to either shorten the length of their shifts or to carry out mandatory psychological evaluations on a weekly basis, or preferably both. And maybe we should order another expedition to the city. Salvador's ID. Huh. Television proposal. Based on the success of America Overnight, we would like to propose the creation of a television series that presents superstition and skeptical thought as entertainment in order to popularize these concepts among the civilian population and create less resistance to redirecting information regarding public paranatural events. We can also use a solid media outlet to test paranatural concepts on civilian audiences, seeing how they react to certain facts presented as fiction in the event that the Bureau ever decides to make certain realities public knowledge. There are various show licenses that we could purchase and reboot rather than starting from scratch. One particular property seems promising, especially considering its content and tone are precisely what we're looking for. It's called Night Springs and has been off the air for a few years now. Collective unconscious. Collective unconscious is defined as a form of the unconscious that is shared in all human minds. From this arises unconscious knowledge linking us through our ancestral heritage. See Jung Report, page 1234. Through this collective unconscious, we unknowingly attribute a series of images and archetypes to all elements of our lives. These archetypes are never fixed but shift and change in tandem with our species and culture. This internal belief in the power of images shared by a massive population is redacted in the creation of altered items and objects of power. The sheer amount of redacted executed is attracted to the best representation of that image, imbuing a single object with massive amounts of redacted. Theoretically, places of power could likewise be formed by the simple power of sustained collective belief. This is para-utility. Objects of power are unique in their capacity to grant certain individuals paranatural abilities. We call these individuals para-utilitarians. The potency of these abilities depends on the para-utilitarian. Using the redacted object of power as an example, some para-utilitarians can achieve a throw distance of redacted, while others are only capable of as little as redacted. See Dr. Darling presentation 11.15 for more information. What exactly determines an individual's paranatural competence is unknown, but it's largely believed that some redacted exists within the body and that, like all muscles, it can be exercised. To continue my analysis, I have officially requested access to the Northmoor records, considering he is one of the most accomplished para-utilitarians the Bureau has ever seen. Dr. Darling is still considering this request. Okay, so we got all of the research and records, Kale's files now, Benikoff TV, so the thing that we got last stream. Containment procedure. No unique containment procedures required while bound. Description para-utility. A CRT television built by Benikoff and Sons Electrics. The screen is still functional. The object can levitate itself off the ground to a maximum observed altitude of something. When bound, the object allows para-utilitarians to harness this effect for their own use. For the results, see report for the results tested with prime candidate P6 or P7 or... The object is currently bound by redacted. The object was first discovered in a local news story from Redacted, Kansas. A figure has been seen redacted over buildings. The Bureau dispatched agents to the town who discovered that a man named Redacted had bound himself to the object. Mr. Redacted was detained, see case, and the object was brought to the Bureau for study. Bright Falls Supplement. Alice Wake, Mr. Wake's wife, was found during the Bureau investigation. She was interviewed and evaluated. She showed signs of severe mental trauma in the form of redacted memory loss. She was later directed to treatment. It was concluded that she has been trapped in the threshold during its manifestation. Notable individuals still missing after the Bright Falls event are FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale and Dr. Emil Hartman, referred to the Creator's Dilemma and the file The Cauldron Lake Lodge. Bureau researchers believe this event was the result of a forceful perception of subjective reality stemming from Mr. Wake, overlapping on our own. Wake has been flagged as a potential para-utilitarian. See Prime Candidate program file for more details. In 2011, a book by Clay Stewart titled The Alan Wake Files was published by Roundabout Press, New York and Olympia. Agents interview Clay Stewart and suspected minor para-utilitarian sensitivity. He was placed under indefinite surveillance. Notes: a monitoring station was established at Cauldron Lake to alert the Bureau of any future activity. Yeah, so Alan Wake, tie-in from Remedy. Who would have thought? Anchor supplement. Ocelot's Anchor. The crew of the Wild Ocelot first encountered a strange spherical phenomenon while fishing in the Redacted. Witnesses described it as a black sphere with faint light behind it. It hovered just off the bow of the ship. The crew redacted by throwing a tin bucket which disappeared into the sphere. Soon after, the vessel lost structural integrity. The ship's metal rusted and fell apart within minutes. As the ship sank, the sphere lowered into the water. A passing fishing vessel called the Redacted rescued the 4 surviving crew. Agents were dispatched to the White Ocelot's last known coordinates and began diving operations. On the ocean floor, the agents found the sphere. The ship was entirely destroyed except for its anchor. As agents lifted the anchor off the ocean's floor, They noticed the sphere behaved in conjunction with the anchor, moving and stopping as one. Contact with the sphere was avoided, but handling the anchor provided harmless. The item was transported by the Redacted to the US port of Redacted. Upon arriving in New York, it was brought into the Bureau via the Redacted. Globe procedures. Wolf Globe. Containment procedure. No unique procedures required, however, contact should be limited as some reports feeling disoriented after touching it. Description altered effect. Item is handmade set in dark wood. The item itself is lacquered, hand-painted and spins freely on all axes. While the continents and oceans are recognizably those of Earth, careful examination has revealed numerous redacted and other geographic additions that do not exist on our planet. One of these islands has a city marked on it named Tanrelio. There are no signatures left by its maker. Physical contact renders subjects dizzy and disoriented, with some reporting of a feeling of unfamiliarity with their surroundings. This effect seems to grow worse with prolonged contact, culminate with a sense of listlessness and depression. Suicide has been observed in redacted handlers. Mirror supplement. Victorian Mirror. Background. Redacted. She was admitted to a mental ward for emotional instability soon after relocating to Illinois with her family in 1914. The item only appears on record again in 2006 when the Bureau investigated a sudden rise in disappearance in Redacted, Illinois. Agents found the item hanging in the local library. They contained it quickly though the missing people of the town were never recovered. Supplementary materials. Date August 18th, 1915. We certified that the case of Mrs. Redacted has shown her to be a lunatic under the reasons of hysteria, bad company, and imaginary female trouble. Her fixation with the family-looking glass is noteworthy, though not an uncommon matter when considering the female disposition. Miss Carver is a fit subject for the lunatic asylum and will remain in its confines until her affliction has passed. Signed, Dr. Redacted. Yeah, that's stupid. Paper lantern supplement. The lantern was discovered at a street-side ramen shop in Tokyo, Japan, named Redacted. The shop gained immense popularity due to this item, this shining beacon hanging in its doorway. A visiting documentarian was similarly enthralled by the crimson luster of the lantern and helped it find international acclaim through a television series highlighting the world's finest restaurants. Audience interest in the lantern brought it to the attention of the Bureau, and soon the lantern found its way here to us. I write this as I sit beside the very item. Its light is so comforting, so familiar. It reminds me of summer nights when I was a boy. The sun setting, the air warm, the chittering song of the evening insects. The lantern knows we all want to feel safe, at home, secure in the knowledge that the world won't change and neither will we. We'll be young and happy forever, here in its glow. Appendix. The author of this document was detained shortly after this case file was distributed. Individual handling of the item is now prohibited. Information in this document may be compromised by the author's obvious infatuation with the item. Refrigerator procedures. Arctic Queen. Containment procedure. No unique procedures required. I mean, there are. Description altered effect. An Arctic Queen brand electric refrigerator model from the 1960s. No killing functionality. The door is decorated with crayon illustrations by Redacted. The illustrations cannot be removed from the item. All attempts have failed. The paper cannot be burned or torn. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after it survived the collapse of New York City Grand Central Hotel, where it served as an appliance in apartment Redacted, rented by a man named Redacted. It became the subject of local infamy after surviving the building's collapse undamaged. Mr. Redacted, who was out of the building at the time of collapse, Redacted PM, retained ownership of the item until 1974 when the Bureau purchased the item through a false identity. Appendix. New altered effect has been observed. See file AI10.f for details. See file AI10.k for new containment procedures. Okay, so it has been possessed by the board I don't know, alien, right? That we fought on the previous stream. Oh dear dinner coffee thermos. Or dear diner coffee thermos. Containment procedure. No unique procedures required. Altered status is suspected but unverified. A blue coffee thermos with a white plastic cap and the logo of the Oh Dear Diner located in Bright Falls, Washington. The cup doubles as a mug. The item responds to Formula I.16, yet no discernible altered effect has been discovered other than keeping liquids warm for surprisingly long periods of time. It's also worth noting that the coffee from the thermos is always refreshing and strong, no matter its quality, before being poured into the item. Well, that's a nice altered item. Background. The thermos was discovered on the shore of Cauldron Lake outside the town of Bright Falls. Both are known sites of a recurring AWE. See Bright Falls AWE case file for further information. According to witness statements, Alan Wake, C Prime candidate program entry for further information, who went missing shortly before the discovery of the thermos, had been seen redacted collecting similar thermoses for an redacted purpose. Okay, another Alan Wake tie-in. Correspondence. Sticky note complaint. Federal Bureau of Control. To whom it may concern, in case you are not aware, something caused a sticky note in my office to duplicate. My office is unusable now. I will be working from home until this is resolved. You can reach me on my cell or home phone. Sincerely, J. Bowser, Vice Chief of Staff. We were in this room. Multimedia. Just therapy we heard. Ordinary orders has we heard. Security order we heard. You and your special powers we also heard, I think. Okay, let's hear about the hotline.
The containment sector, the Panopticon, is home to the altered items we find and contain. It is a maximum security prison. It's a vault for the most valuable treasures on Earth. It's a powder keg big enough to blow this world to dust. A temple, a place of worship filled with idols of angry gods. It's all of these, and none of them. It's something more profound, unbelievable, unknowable. Something worse. Altered items. We've found many. They appear mundane, but nothing could be further from the truth. They're all powerful, dangerous. They press heavy on our minds because that's their nature. They've been altered because we can't stop thinking about them. We put them on altars because they're used to being worshipped. This keeps them calm. We contain them, but they don't want to be controlled. We study them to discover what makes them tick. If this place were ever breached, it would be chaos of biblical proportions. After North Moore stepped down, I doubled every effort to find new prime candidates. There was no one. No one but me. That wasn't good enough. I pushed hard. I never wanted the Bureau to end up in that situation again. The Bureau needs a director. Always. When my time reaches an end, I want more options on the table. P1 through P5 were all false leads, dead ends, and disappointments. Then P6, Dylan Faden. He fell into our arms. No parents, they're gone, casualties of an AWE. The boy has exceptional talent. The oldest house will be his home. We'll build him from the ground up. He'll be trained and taken care of. Darling can be in charge of this project. I can't. I'll stay away. I will not fail the boy like I failed my own family. my daughter and my wife. We weren't careful enough back then. Something came home with me. I took work home. My Susanna got sick. When I realized my mistake, I wanted to bring her here for Darling to do what he could. Kate flat out refused. Civilian doctors treated our daughter, but they didn't have a clue. She died. Kate left me. Same old story. That was a long time ago. The Bureau is all I have now. And the prime candidates are our future. There are two, P6 and P7. We're spoiled for choice.
That was kinda sad. Okay, nothing new. Apologize, deny. Ads. Yes. Oh my goodness. We have better packages, and if you don't decide on us, you will die.
All the times I felt paranoid, I was right. The Bureau could have given me the answers, but they just stood by and watched me.
Who would have thought? Okay. 2-minute break for the toilet. Okay, we back. See the map, and let's go. Hello, hi Vong. How are ya? Interesting. Didn't expect we needed to go through here. Pretty good, thanks.
They studied what happened in Ordinary here. That's the place to start looking.
Oh, it's specifically for the Ordinary City. Okay. I didn't catch that the first time. Bye bye. Get turned. You're mine now. I ended up buying this game on the last Steam sale after watching this stream, so I guess you're officially an influencer. Yeah, so that's basically what your sister told me lately. I'm really flabbergasted that this would happen. Oh, these guys are strong. They're so strong that don't get down for one hit, so I can possess them. Nice. So since you have the game, have you been playing it recently? And if so, how are you finding it? More collectibles. More story. And we have control point in a while. It's one more fight. A little bit, yes, it's alright. The gameplay isn't like amazing or anything, but I like it overall. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's fluent enough and nice for you to basically like feel satisfied in what you do. I think you're ahead of me. I'm about to head to the Panopticon. Yeah, I guess you're making better progress than I do then, because I basically just lately went from the Panopticon.
Experiments.
So
Very
you know,
different
like,
one,
and I
sure,
played it
but
on last
both
stream,
in
right?
a cell of some sort.
I'm
Am I
exclusively
out of the cell
playing the game
now,
on
or is
stream.
all this, the house and being the director, just another cell?
I could have possessed him. Come on, be mine. Thank you. You die. Okay. This is all already? Great. We cleansing.
We're going back home. Of course we are.
Back
Started
home.
there,
Wow.
and it's never gone away.
Astral constructs. Jukebox tokens. I'm wondering what's the tokens about. I mean, I have a quest about it, but I didn't go through it, so we don't know yet. Oh, if we deconstruct some of the mods, we could upgrade our peers. But also we can upgrade spin, grip, or construct charge. Decisions. I guess I'll upgrade spin. And I'll upgrade grip. I unfortunately don't have enough for shutter. Yeah, I'm even not using either spin or grip. That's funny. Ammo cost per shot. Or rate of fire. Yes, rate of fire is better. And the grip. Yeah, let's do the armor cost per shot. Maybe change the damage also. Let's see if there's anything here. There's 81% headshot damage, but it's better to have the damage alone. Okay. It's transit corridor south. Ah, we have the clearance. Feels like this is the only way we can go to. Excuse me, what? Okay. Oh yeah, we're going this way. Come on, Professor X. Get hit. Ouch. Yeah. Everything.
There's gotta be a way to rotate these tracks. Maybe there's a control panel nearby.
Ordinary dump site. Oh no, the blobs! And the bridge operator is there. Oh no, how can we get there? For example, by floating.
There's gotta be a way to rotate these tracks.
Come on, I need the mods. I need the mods. Still got level 1 mods. Wow. Guess we must have got them lately. Yeah, let's see what this mod is. Projectiles fired. Yes, please. 5 more projectiles? Or projectile spread? No, it's projectile spread. This one. So let's leave the fired ones.
Maybe there's a control panel nearby.
Yes, there definitely is, Jesse. Yes, it's here. And open the doors.
It won't rotate. Something's blocking it.
Why? Why? Yes, thank you. There are more.
It won't rotate. Something's blocking it.
Another Bureau alert. Alarm. Alarm. Still focused on our mission. Side missions to kill stuff is not interesting to us. Or at least to me. Is there anything interesting? Maybe this is actually the way to go. Yeah, it might be, so let's not go here for now. Let's see if the top is blocked off. Yeah, it is. Okay. We just need to go here. The hiss. And it's the flying one. And we died. Wow. That was a ton of damage. Okay, we respawned at the control point. But it's basically close. Let's change to Shatter, maybe it will deal more damage to the vampire. Ouch. That's not ideal. That's really not ideal. We die. I will lose a shit ton of my source. Or not. I'm basically happy that I spent the control point. Wow. Yeah, how many do we? How much source do we have? See here. Let's see here. We still have 5,000. We'll basically be losing about 5,500. So we're basically losing like 500 every time. Okay, so are we that bad that you just decided to make it even worse game? I really don't care about this hiss. I'm going. I won't fight. Who cares about those? No. Yes. I'm so low on health. I will die next time if I have anyone. I find that the shield power really helps against those guys. That's a good idea. That's really a good idea to consider shielding yourself. And I basically forgot that this is possible. Yes. I am really like in your face kinda gameplay wise, so I'm never using the shield. I always try to just outrun the enemies and just power them down. Kill them with my omnipresence and gun omnipresence. Most of the time it's not very good, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you need to move from one blockade to the next, would be considered good. Maybe for the his that are, you know, kind of floaty and are throwing stuff at you. The ones that you can't throw the stuff back at. Okay. We're giving power so that we open the door and we don't need to go down. I hope so. Hey. Hey. Gave the juice. Why was the juice even needed? Like it didn't do nothing. batteries. Where do we throw them? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we've got light. Oh. And the elevator started working. With no hiss inside this time. Okay, let's first go there. Because there's basically, I guess, a dead end or some extra stuff. So there's something extra, there are collectibles. And probably monsters that are going to defeat us. But no, this is where we came from. I'm stupid. I didn't notice. This was basically the way we came from. Search for the slide projector object of power. No, heal, thank you. Heal up. Thank you. Well, we still only have half HP after this fight. Okay, 2/3. That's better. Again, this is where we came from. Let's proceed instead of going back and wondering what it is and why are we scared of the places that we already visited. Don't have a chance to do anything his. Okay, but like there was nothing to oh, there it is. I didn't saw the button to open the gates.
You're listening to America Overnight, celebrating 29 years, shining a light in the shadows.
Okay, let's not listen to the song because it's probably copyrighted.
There is a curious correlation with the yet unknowable forces intruding upon our world, in the form of altered world events. These forces gravitate toward archetypal objects, a gun, a television, a supposedly haunted house. So clearly humanity affects this process. Our collective unconscious is a A map of sorts. We hold the key, but we don't know how to use it. We create these archetypes through everyday life, popular culture, urban legends, but we are observing and influencing a complicated system in action. We can change the likelihood of something being a receptacle for these forces just by thinking about it. But we haven't found a method to control the outcome. And yet, there's something unique in us, in our dreams, in the conceptual reality with power, with our minds. What's the cause and what's the effect? Are we the starting point or just a necessary evil in this? A byproduct, a reflection, a projection? We'll struggle to find the answers to these hard questions, or die trying.
That was something else, darling. There's a mute copyrighted audio option in the game. Yes, I know. I found that. I don't know why. I mean, I know why I didn't use it. I basically wanted to hear the music, but yeah, probably it's a good idea to check it. I already got flagged for copyrighted content in the stream on YouTube, because you know the case is that on Twitch on the VOD you can basically hear it, and then they use content ID and they oh wow. Why is this an emote? Why is this an emote? That sucks. Yeah, I mean, you know, this was basically, you know, content ID, right? They have this stuff that is basically, you know, recognizing that there is some kind of a music inside of the recording or on the stream, and they flag it. And you know, Twitch is better for now because they let you like, I don't know, just have it on stream, but then later after it turns into a VOD, they are basically muting all of the audio where they find that there's a copyrighted part. Like they are doing it automatically. And on YouTube, they are flagging it, but they are forcing you
Annual
to cut the
evaluation
part.
of Dylan Faden, formerly P6, performed by Dr. Carla Vaughn. The questions asked here correspond to the fifth iteration of the gunner's psychological assessment. Are you ready, Dylan? Let's begin then. In a single word, describe the world around you.
Where's Casper?
Dr. Darling is out of the building today.
He's never out. He didn't want to come, did he? He never visits, not since Roberts. Tell Darling it wasn't my fault. I couldn't control it yet, but I can now. I learned. Will you tell him?
In a single word, describe the world around you.
A prison. A cold, empty prison. Not even a poster on the wall.
What is the next number in the sequence 3, 6, 9, 12, 15?
18.
What day is it today?
How the hell would I know? It's not like you give me a calendar.
You find a rabbit in the woods. It is breathing, but not moving. You cannot see any blood. What do?
Leave it.
Expand on that.
It doesn't matter. The rabbit's not real. None of it's real.
What day is it today?
Do you enjoy asking people questions that can't be answered? Is this what gets you up in the morning? What you dreamed of doing as a scared, stupid little girl?
Can you describe a dog to me?
In ordinary, we had a friend. Nosebleed Neo. And when it all went crazy, you know what I mean. Nosebleed Neo turned into a dog. Or something like a dog.
What day is it tomorrow?
Fuck off! I don't know! There is no calendar! How can I fucking know?
Dylan, calm down.
Fuck you! Fuck you and fuck Casper! Hey! Are you watching this, you old fuck? Did you send the bitch because you're too scared of me? Where is Casper?
Security, get a team in here. I need...
Yeah, so this was basically the recording that we got the document for. Okay, another control point glanced. And we have ordinary AWE ahead of us. Good.
Let's see what they have on ordinary.
A shit ton, Jesse.
It's all here.
Wow.
Our home, our school, the woods, the dump.
We basically did the recreation of the city. Sorry about that, I needed to make sure that our cat is not destroying anything. Although he is. He always is. Okay. Guess we need to go up. This observatory. Oh, and the his invasion. Oh, dawto. Hit something, Jesse. Yes, possess more. That wasn't a good idea.
We found the slide projector in the dump outside town. Did they recreate that too? Is that where they keep it?
Okay. Need to destroy some mods. Thank you. Dump outside of town. Ordinary dump site. Okay. It's really interesting that they are reconstructing all of the
You
city.
mentioned a poem last time we talked. By Thomas Zane?
Yes. Beyond the shadow you settle for, there's a miracle illuminated.
I looked the poem up. Only I couldn't find any poet by that name. I did find a European filmmaker who moved here in the 60s, named Thomas Zane.
What?
I don't know matter. It suits you very well. The poem. How you see things. Maybe you wrote it yourself?
I didn't.
No matter. You've said a few times that you feel like there's a piece of you missing. Can we talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, it's this... I feel an emptiness, a yearning for
something that I think I lost. It's natural for you to feel that way. Your brother and your parents are dead.
No. No. Dylan's not dead. And that's not even it.
You're referring to the imaginary friend from your childhood?
Polaris. She's come back. After a long time, she's calling me. In a dream I saw, she showed me things.
Jesse.
It felt more real than anything. As real as what happened in Ordinary.
The industrial accident in your hometown? That you believe Polaris caused?
No, it wasn't an accident. There was no industrial accident, and Polaris didn't cause it. She saved me and Dylan.
Jesse.
No! It was a cover-up. The government knows about it. There were agents there. Agents from... I don't know exactly. They took Dylan. I'll find them. I won't stop looking. Polaris wants me to go to New York. There's a building there. I have to leave soon. I have to be there at a very specific time. Something hugely important is going to happen.
Jesse, you know we can't let you go until you're well. And that begins by understanding what's real and what's imagined.
I wonder why she doesn't like comment on this stuff. I would very much like her to comment on the stuff that we are hearing from her talks with the psychiatrist. If it's even real. If this is the real Jesse. I mean, it puts the like time frame of the talk like a couple of months before now. Also taking into considerations the like the timetable for Jesse's movements that the Bureau has saved. Ordinary dump. Okay, so please, why did we have to go the long way? Why?
Moved the whole landfill here in the middle of New York, and nobody saw a thing. Pretty unbelievable.
I mean, the map clearly suggests that we could just go here from the other side. Ay. Okay, give me the hiss. Let's fight. Maybe, yeah, hit some of the guys. Jesse, please. Thank you. Shoot me before. Thank you for your understanding. Letting me roam free, hit you, win the fight. Is there anyone else? Oh, there is. What? Why though? Why are you running? Dude, why are you running? Ouch. Okay, let's take a shield of it. Another shield. Let me be. Ouch. Two more shots, two more shots. Yes.
We should check that lab.
We got the doors open already, and then we can go to the lab. So let's see if there are any collectibles though in here. It looks like the same fridge that we fought. Not the same actually. At least I hope so. That one's been neutralized. Let's go. Let's find the slide projector. It's probably not here.
Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
Darling took the projector to the research sector. He dedicated a whole area to it, so he knew it was important. Dimensional research. That's where we go next.
Oh no, Dylan's happy. That's bad for us. The face of the enemy completed. Finish tango. Dark place. Okay. I guess we ought to take care of the side missions right now. Oh, and we have 3 skill points. Let's see. So do we want to launch the enemies? Or do we want to seize? Or do we want to levitate longer? Or do we want more energy? I guess levitation for now. Or no. No, we'll go with the energy. We're throwing stuff lately. Okay. Let's first see our quests. Okay. Investigate the sector elevator. And executive, central executive, so let's fast travel there. But before we go and investigate the elevator, I need a 2 minutes break. So be right back. Okay, eyes back. This is funny. Like, I wonder if the stutter after the pause is caused it's because the capture device is having some issues with the HDMI, or if it's the console or a game issue. I will need to check that without streaming.
I need the containment protocols for every altered item or object of power with an audio-related effect.
I'll send a team to contact
There are
Links
two
and get that
cats.
information, sir. If yes, why? What do we tell them?
Tell him that the hiss work through sound, so any countermeasures designed for similar altered items should be considered for field use.
The perspective looks on point. Like, come and see here. Look at this. Like, the perspective is amazing.
Oh, where the fuck did Marshall go?
Amazing. Yeah, it is wrong. I love it. We're playing like that. Nah, we're not. I can't see anything when I have this over my game. Just hoping they won't fight. Yeah, they often do.
I found this token. Any idea what it does?
Ah, that is a jukebox token. Little bastards turn up in the weirdest places, like bad pennies. The Rangers use them to activate an old object of power.
A jukebox, I assume. Does it have any good songs?
Nope, just the one record. Hey, be careful turning it on, though. When it's playing, you get a free trip to the formation.
The formation? That sounds ominous. Why does it send you there?
The Bureau has been wondering that for years. I mean, it's just a pile of rocks built by God knows who, but... Well, researchers have confirmed it's in the same threshold as the quarry. Well, no one's ever been able to map a physical route to the formation from maintenance.
So it's in the quarry. You just don't know where.
Pretty much. We only send in annual expeditions to the formation now. Checkups, Salvador calls them. This year's team went in the day the hiss arrived. Come to think of it, the song should have brought back hours ago.
I can go in and take a look.
I'd appreciate that. The jukebox is kept just past the security booth over there. Put in the token and enjoy the ride.
Oh yeah, I guess the jukebox is then the DLC content, because I think Formation was DLC.
What's the deal with BlackRock?
Oh, fuck. Don't get me started on BlackRock. You know, ever since research found out that it blocks paranatural stuff, they have just been parading dangerous materials in and out of the fucking quarry. Fucking lab coats, man. Look, making my job harder.
Sounds like there's some tension between departments.
Still, at least the quarry's got a good view of the night sky. You know, me and Salvador used to have after-work beers down there.
Hi, Gold. Oh yeah, this game is kinda like a third-person shooter SCP game. SCP?
What do you know about Dr. Darling?
About as much as anybody, I guess. Head of research, loves to hear himself talk. All of those science types absolutely do. He's been acting a little bit psycho recently. Although HR told me not to use that word, so...
Everyone thinks finding Darling will lead us to the answers. But if he's completely lost it, then what help could he be? You're security, right? Do you work with Rangers?
Not often. Rangers are specially trained in threshold reconnaissance and ground zero AWE response. Security is more interested in the dangers inside the Bureau.
They must see some weird stuff out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, every week they are tackling things that were previously unknown to the human experience. Most Rangers, they retire due to cognitive collapse. I looked up the medical definition. Not fun.
Wong, that's some sort of internet collaborative fiction about pretty much the same thing as Control, Objects of Power, Jukebox, Cthulhu, etc. And Gold, SCP, Secure, Contain, Protect. It has a lot of unnatural creatures and objects that often are horror-themed. Things like a statue that only moves when you aren't looking at it, that tries to break your neck, snap your neck. You could just say Weeping Angel. We know of those.
How does the Bureau handle thresholds?
Handle might be a bit of an optimistic way to put it. Marshall sends her rangers in to map them, check growth rates, locate epicenters, take samples, measure stuff, basically.
Sounds like he's done his homework.
Now, down in maintenance, thresholds are used just like any other tool. Lab coats mine black rock from one, maintenance siphons water from another. We use it for pretty much everything, except drinking.
Why don't you drink it? Do I even want to know?
Yeah, a lot of time we find these little chunks in it. It's pretty gross.
I didn't want to know.
Funny thing is, SCP-173, the statue, came out just before this Weeping Angel episode. Yeah, maybe Moffat was basically, you know, finding inspirations.
Marshall? Marshall's a fucking badass. Rangers could not ask for a better leader. She's a little, you know, intense, but given the stuff she's seen, I'm not surprised. She does have a bad habit of disappearing, though.
Where does she go?
Last time she vanished, I did some digging into the security logs. I found camera footage of her entering the quarry. She was down there alone for days. Now, typically that's not allowed, but Marshall is kind of above the rules.
I wonder what she finds so interesting in the quarry.
Yeah, but basically, angels in Doctor Who are.
I have to go.
Me too. You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
Not really. Not really.
We're gonna get through this.
Let's say scary. I mean, the statue wanting to snap your neck is like a kind of an immediate danger, but weeping angels are only using you to get energy by moving you back in time, right? Okay, let's go back to tracking a dark place. Running theory is that someone who made the SCP-173 thing might have focus tested the Weeping Angels episode or something. To me it sounds more like a wild coincidence than anything. It might be a coincidence, who knows? And all I can say is that...
There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call.
Okay.
Faden sensed a drowning man. A hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh? We should check this out.
Another kinda like DLC stuff. Yeah, I also guess that it might be a coincidence. All I can say is that I really liked the Weeping Angels episodes. The first one. Like Moffat got way ahead of himself while he was the showrunner later on. Excuse me. Thank you. I've still never actually watched Doctor Who. You know, I'm not that big on it myself because, you know, there are diehard fans that watched like the originals, right? The original series.
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
Me neither, except for the Weeping Angels episode, funnily enough. Yeah, that's interesting. There are other couple of good episodes, but I guess you know, every time that there is someone that recommends a Doctor Who episode to you to get you started, it's basically the Weeping Angels one, because it's a good standalone history. So yeah, coming back to it, you know, there are like the old episodes, like created in the 60s, because the Doctor Who series started from 1963. and yeah, some people are such diehard fans that they are watching those as well. I never did. I only watched the new Who, which is created was created in 2005 after a 9 years hiatus, because it was like another try from BBC to to revive it. I think the last thing I really got around to watching was old Star Trek. You see, I've never watched Star Trek. Only the new movies, I think. The ones with Chris Pine, and the one that Benedict Cumberbatch was the main villain in. Actually, I was never interested in this series or in those films.
It's not working.
It's not working.
Probably a loose power core somewhere.
Yeah, we need to turn on the power. I love how Jesse just keeps knocking things over while running. Yes, this is funny. I mean, I guess this is kind of needed for the physics engine to work the way it does while throwing stuff. Like the stuff doesn't really have much weight, so when she is running, she just knocks stuff over like she's some kind of I don't know, a monster truck. Oh, we need to get the power core from down there. Here. No, give me this. Not this. Give me the core. Give me the core. Thank you. Okay, Jesse, please run through. Please. Yeah. But the chair basically made me stop. Wow. Hello, nieowca.
That gate should open.
As you can see in the chat, Mr. Vong is with us as well. Oh, the camera died. That's nice. We don't have a CatCam, despite cats looking really sweet, because the phone died. That's less nice. Yeah, it turned off a couple of minutes ago, basically.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
Go to here. Okay, so like before we go through with the ocean view, I will read the collectibles that we found. I see the stream schedule is getting less intense. Yeah. I basically decided to bring it down a notch from 6 days to 4, right? Yeah, because it's Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday now. That's reasonable. Yeah, I guess. And depends on the needs really. If there will be people that want me to stream more often, then I'll maybe kick it up again. Altered examination request airplane wreckage. Summary. The airplane in question has been brought in from a private airfield located in the town of Redacted, Cincinnati. It is suspected to be connected to the Redacted AWE. See case file for details, and is being evaluated for altered status. The plane is currently being stored in the transit corridor in the containment sector, brought there through the New York subway tunnel. Special access redacted. For more information on tunnel redacted and links to urban legends centered on ghost stations, abandoned tracks, and redacted, see file. The plane's black box is currently being evaluated for redacted, and initial readings have been taken by a research team, though no altered status has yet been detected. Refer to file for full report. Blessed Organization. Paracriminal profile, the Blessed Organization. Summary. This group individual has operated outside of the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of past cases has found various mentions of the activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, their connection to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be connected circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed Organization. Refer to file for full report. Official findings report, re Dr. Casper Darling, internal confidential. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation D-084-5 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during the investigation. The majority of the redacted sector personnel seem to be wholly unaware of any such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's code name to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into redacted research. Refer to file for full report. Director investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Redacted was launched into the Redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in Redacted witnessed in the Director's Trench, including aggressive Redacted when redacted with other staff, has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable redacted between Director Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the dimensional research wing and the redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's redacted as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any redacted and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to file for full report. Ethics investigations. Read the Prime Candidate Program. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation P-142-9 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program redacted by the FBC. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used excessive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted. were brought onto the oldest house, or redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted or paranaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this a breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. The investigation team unequivocally redacted the prime candidate program and recommends that it be redacted immediately. Refer to file for full report. Specimen escape assessment. Re-incident hash A-49. Pound A-49. Purpose of internal investigation X-039-7 is to examine the containment failure of specimen SI-1 that resulted in the death of redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has proved any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive redacted. Cross-referencing the date with the various logs found that only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. 1. Air filters were changed, and 2. An hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Redacted entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. See interview pound 65-F-124. Given that their connection to the same AWE case, it is likely that Mrs. Redacted's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape and to the redacted. Investigation is ongoing. Underfield background. Dr. Raya Underhill. Summary. Dr. Raya Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDAs since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. Why do I struggle with saying the word relationship? Relationship. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Willow AWE shipping manifest. Inventory list of recovered materials. A hollow sphere, stone-like material, vitrified soil, redacted pieces of various sizes and colors, animal carcass, possibly canine, rusted metal bucket, a leather wallet, aged shotgun cartridge, all materials to go to the investigations sector for further analysis. Ordinary AWA Stage 1.A dump. Witness testimonies. The first slide was a room with dirty wallpaper and dolls on a shelf. There were lots of dolls. Dylan Faden, interviewed 2002. The house was empty, no one lived there. We played in there a lot. It was our secret playhouse. Jesse Faden, therapy session 2010. I went to school with Neil. Some kids called him Nosebleed Neil. Note, likely Neil Hosenberg, missing. It was mean. He had asthma. Tom, note, likely Tom Barlow, missing, and his gang Freddy, note, likely Frederick Bartwell, missing. Hugo, note, no one by this name was found in public records, bullied him. We brought Neil to the dump to play. Dylan, interview 2002. Extrapolated information, unconfirmed existence of additional slide designation house. Ordinary AWE Stage 1.DB dump. Witness testimonies. The second slide we called the meadow, but it was really just an empty lot with a bunch of weeds. There was a shack and a phone line. It smelled like flowers there. It was powerful, intoxicating. We had crazy dreams there. It must have been because of the smell. I didn't like it. Didn't like losing control. In the dreams everything was melting, and then when we come out everything has melted around the projector. Jesse, therapy session 2010. Neil was really into it. We found out he'd been coming there more and more on his own. Then Tom beat the secret out of Neil and found the projector. He and his goons took it. Jesse, therapy session 2010. We thought Neil had got lost inside the meadow when Tom changed the slide, but that's not what happened. Dylan, interview 2002. Extrapolated information, unconfirmed existence of additional slide, designation meadow. Ordinary AWE Stage 2, Sled Hill Cave, witness testimonies. After what happened at school to Mr. Chester, we started spying on Tom and saw where they took the projector, Dylan. Tom and his troglodytes were using the Sled Hill Cave as their headquarters. That's where the projector was. They'd been using the temple slide. We called it that, but really it was a broken concrete thing, like a warehouse or a bomb shelter or something. Very dark. The Not Mother lived there with her babies, children, I don't know. She was feeding Tom and the others her milk. They were changing into little monsters. We called them dung monkeys. Jesse, 2010. Extrapolated information, unconfirmed existence of additional slide designation temple, unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designation not mother. EID-19928. Okay, I mean, the kids just basically going to other worlds and like doing nothing with it, not having any issue with it is kinda scary. Ordinary AW stage 4.8. So I'm missing basically stage 3, which probably was a collectible there, and the ordinary AWE site. It didn't look hard enough. Woe is me. Town proper, witness testimonies. Jesse and me followed the dung monkeys to the cave. There was a lot of them. More of the kids from town had joined up. It was really scary. Jesse grabbed the projector and we ran as fast as we could. They chased us. I fell and hurt my knee. Jesse tried to help me, but the dung monkeys were coming. They were just about to get us, but then Neil showed up. Neil looked like a dog, like a melted dog, but I knew it was him. Neil said a lot of times he didn't like being a boy because Tom just beat him up. I think he liked being a dog. Dylan, 2002. The projector wouldn't turn off, so we changed the slide to the hand. I heard her immediately. She promised to help. Jesse. Jesse said we should call her Polaris. It's because she was doing stars at school. Dylan. Extrapolated information. Additional slide designation hand SID 36 is verified and in pure possession. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designation Dog Neil EID-19930. Case files. Ordinary summary AWE 24. AW occurred in the town of Ordinary caused by an object of power slide projector ID OOP15 discovered by local children at the dump outside of town. When a specific set of slides are used in the projector, the projected images open doorways to other dimensions. Multiple slides were used by the children, resulting in the disappearance of the town's adult population. Event response. On August 30, 2002, siblings Dylan Faden, 10 years old, CP6 material, and Jesse Faden, 11 years old, CP7 materials, were playing at the local dump when they found a discarded slide projector. COOP15 case and file and Darling presentations redacted for details. A team led by Director Trench and Dr. Darling arrived at the scene on September 14th. The AW had ended, but the team found the Faden children who led them to the slide projector and the slides, which had been burned with the exception of one. Jesse escaped when agents attempted to detain the pair. In total, 17 surviving individuals were found in the town. All of them were brought in for questioning and tests. See interviews redacted and prime candidate program files redacted. Ordinary supplement. Details are largely based on interviews conducted with Dylan Faden, see interviews for relevant information, and the obtained therapy sessions of Jesse Faden, as well as circumstantial evidence found on the ordinary side. Note that accounts provided by all three sources contain conflicting data. Example, Dylan claims there were 8 slides for the projector, Jesse mentioned 9 slides. The Bureau found 1 intact slide, designation 36, and the burnt remains of 6 others. Unfortunately, these slides are too badly damaged to be used in the projector. Jesse Faden is believed to be the individual responsible for burning the slides. Notes: Dr. Darling has ordered that the entirety of the ordinary town dump be brought into the Bureau for examination and analysis, with the hopes of finding additional slides of other altered materials. Due to the limited space in the investigation sector, this EW would be investigated in the containment sector. Tractor procedures. Bureau tractor AI 82-KE. A containment procedure item is not in Bureau custody, non-known. Description: altered effect. A Frank elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses or growls and unmanned locomotion. Considered highly aggressive and dangerous. Background: the item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panicked calls to federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Earlier searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mr. Burrow only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. Tractor supplement. Note: miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Burrow William, male, Caucasian. Case summary: 33-year-old man found dead on his property per police report. Remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries head, lacerations left ear cheek, blunt force injuries extremities, dislocation right knee, complete avulsion of the right upper extremity, with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus, extensive trauma abdominal region, complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion: it is my opinion that Mr. Burrow's death is not the result of a mechanical accident, as claimed by authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with animal attack. Correspondence. Case inquiry. Mr. Dennis, a request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder on all of the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted, but I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the same name of the fictional detective if this hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with the writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy, Special Investigator Gleason. Well, that's an interesting way to tie in the games. To Chief Investigator Dennis. It happened again, 3rd time this year. Something certainly has it out for our redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough, but why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on Redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know why they are researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before this redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. I guess the word is shit. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Esteves. Dump cessation of work order. And before I start to read that, let me get some water because my throat hurts from all of this reading. Notice, by order of Dr. Darling, all work in the ordinary dump is to stop effective immediately. Resources would be allocated to the redacted departments. Details will be forthcoming. This area will be sealed at the end of the month. Please remove all personal effects before that time. Any photographic slides, the type used in slide projectors found in this area should be delivered to Dr. Darling immediately. Missing agents. Mr. Kirkland, 2017. Here are the latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. Agent Jonathan Connor, Researcher Erza Cruz, Agent Caroline Dempsey, Agent Lindsay Malcolm, Agent Charles Murray, Agents Derek Shaw. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They are lost, I'm afraid. Resignation letter. 2019. To whom am I concerned, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the federal FBC. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame the situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my requests and for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigations sector lost to the redacted loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed these agents, and I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. That's why he's not here. But he's prominent in all of the correspondence. Kirkland, I am growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures plotting against me. You are traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Zachariah Trench, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. I mean, why would he just, sign his name on this? This is like a note that should be scribbled and left on the desk, like French, just and not the official title. What the hell? Kirkland inspection, I guess. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWA like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grunman Morales desertion issues. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they've switched teams like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the ordinary case, but that was just the adults if I'm remembering the fire correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out there to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guy working on a cover story. Sincerely, Agent Keenum. Staffing issue. Mr. Dennis. So yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filling the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not still be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regard, Agent Grayson. Work chat, dead dog. I see your creepy teeth delivery and raise you a dead dog. Yeah, like a straight up deceased dog. Had a collar on it and everything. It'd been rotting in that box since they packed it up. Go ahead and imagine how that smelled. So don't go winning on me. I wish I got to watch a parade of human teeth. This is effed up. I guess we didn't hear the America Overnight.
You're listening to America Overnight, celebrating 29 years, shining a light in the shadows. Thank you for staying with us. Here's our first caller.
Hi. What I'm about to tell you, if they found out, I don't know what would happen.
If who found out, brother?
The men in the suits. They told me it was an industrial accident, but this is something else. Something nobody talks about. Ordinary.
This certainly doesn't sound very ordinary, caller.
No, not ordinary. Ordinary. It's a town. And it wasn't an industrial accident. I mean, that's what they said, but that's bullshit.
Whoa, please watch the language, caller. It may be 2 a.m., but we're still a family show.
I'm sorry. It's just, my brother lived there. They said the town was destroyed, but it wasn't. I went there. The people are gone, but the town's there. It's still there.
So the population of an entire town disappears, yet the town remains. Tell me, was the phrase, "there is no salvation," written anywhere?
I'm not sure.
The same thing happened in Brazil in 23, a village called Hor Verde. More than 600 people just up and left. The government said they were fleeing guerrilla forces, but we know the truth. A mass abduction, as predicted by my regular guest, Dr. Quincy Reagan.
Abduction? You mean aliens? That's bullshit! I know they're lying!
Now, I warned you about the language, caller. I'm afraid we're gonna have to cut you off. And good timing, too. It's time for a short break. Hang in there. America Overnight will be right back.
They're making the frogs gay. I don't remember the issue with the board. Wake. Oh, so this is Alan Wake.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Faden could hear it. A call. It was faint. reaching for her from a dark place. Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force at play here. It was changing things around her, subtle. Trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss. So it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away. And made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man. A man desperate to escape. She sensed something else too. A hunger in the dark. Not unlike the hostile resonance. Waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation Sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado. Do we know each other? This feels familiar. I can't seem to... I've forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake. Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane. There's nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role. A character. The protagonist I played in my old film. I'm a filmmaker. An auteur like yourself. We're working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration.
Well, this DLC story looks really weird.
Endless. Darkness. Nothing holds still.
But we're very close now. You've been writing. You found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Writing?
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something. It's my double. He's out there. I've seen him.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle him.
You've met him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
Do I need to know the plot of Alan Wake games to know what was that all about?
That was the Alan Wake? The famous writer? He disappeared years ago. It was all over the news back then. And Thomas Zane was with him. The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
Too loud. It's too loud. Game, please don't. Don't scare me. I'm not a good person to be scared. Okay. Give me the key.
Dr. Emil Hartman, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Broke loose, killed everyone it could, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. A resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Okay, we'll need to hear that. Our hotline later. Let's go to the investigation sector now, though. Oh my goodness! They made it so that you need to have the levitation force. They gated the DLC! No! But why can't I? I can't go through here. Do I really need to go down there? Levitate. Levitate there? Well, let's try. Do we have enough juice? We do. Bye bye. Okay, so that's basically how you're supposed to go. And there's blood there. Let's see. Can we do anything about this? Nah, just people crushed. Their hopes and dreams shattered under the stone of the oldest house.
Creepy, damp, and abandoned. Why did Wake want me to come here?
Exactly. I mean, I also am finding that you are way more vocal than in the main game, Jesse. Why? Abandoned offices. The toilets. We didn't visit the toilets for so long.
That doesn't look like a house shift. Do I even
Wow.
want to know?
It looks interesting. And we have a control point to claim. And basically, since we've been streaming for 3 hours, I know that the beginning was like the stream starting soon and all that, but it's 7 p.m. and I'm hungry. So let's finish for now. Thank you all for hanging out. participating, talking. I always like to interact during the streams. Yeah, if you want to find me, I am on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Patreon, everywhere with the handle Kisheru. Basically, everywhere you want to see me, I'm probably there, trying to amass as many people as I could. In the meantime, let's rate someone. I will be live on Saturday next. We're going to the channel that is streaming Spyro, basically a game of choice. On Twitch, of course. I don't know anyone to raid on Facebook or on YouTube. Thanks again. See you in 2 days. Bye bye.